My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me now and we will explore these topics and so much more with fascinating guests, authors, and experts who will guide us to Destination Unlimited. Is it possible to turn back the clock, reverse the aging process, and look and feel better than you did 10 years ago? My guest this week on Destination Unlimited, Dr. Grazyna Pajunen, says this can be achieved with biohacking. Dr. Pajunen is a renowned biohacking coach. She not only knows the natural ways to disrupt the downward spiral of declining health and improve the status quo, but also the newest ingestibles, supplements, wearable tech, and AI tools. But what she is best known for is turning back the clock, reversing the aging process. Her website is agereversingsecret.com, and she joins me this week to share her work and her book, Biohacking: A Way to a Better You, Look and Feel Better Than You Did 10 Years Ago. Please join me in welcoming to Destination Unlimited Dr. Grazyna Pajunen. Welcome, Dr. Pajunen.
I'm extremely excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dr. Pajunen, please share with us your early life and how your path led you to your interest in science.
Well, that is a very interesting question because I was born in Warsaw, which was under the communistic regime. So I was, it was completely different life, of course, than in United States. But the important always thing in my family was get good education. So we all tried to get as good education as we could. And I just got accepted to study electronics or at the in Warsaw Technical University. And when I graduated, electronics of solid state, and then I left Poland with just $10 and a bicycle. We couldn't exchange more money than $10. And it was very difficult actually to get a passport. But anyhow, somehow I managed. And I signed up for the PhD program in Helsinki University in order to be legally in Finland, because it was not easy to stay legally outside of Poland without the kind of government permission, because then they put repression on your family in the country. So anyhow, that was my reason why I did PhD, but it was actually extremely useful because once I completed the PhD, they invited me to teach at the university in United States. So it opened me the door to this beautiful country where I stayed for, when I am here for over 40 years.
Wonderful. Please tell us about your work at Florida Atlantic University and UCLA.
Well, my area is adaptive control systems. So I was working with different projects that involve needed the optimization and adaptation. And the most interesting for me and the most challenging for me were the project in biomedical field. So when we had to model human body, and I noticed how extremely complicated it is. And the problem was that normally, if we model something, we have at least the structure that remains the same and the parameters change, and we could adjust the parameters and we could then adjust the control systems. But as far as the human body goes, everything has changed. If we just put something from outside, like a drug, the body responds, and it responds in such a way that we needed to change not only the parameters, but also the model, the structure of the in order to be able to design anything. So it was very challenging, very difficult, but I loved it because we could help human beings to perform and to live the best life they can. And that was my really happiness to do that.
How did your path shift from academia to entrepreneurship and your passion for health and wellness?
Well, as far as the business goes, I always loved business. My father was a businessman. My husband was a businessman, and I was drawn to business. However, I just, the door for teaching at university just opened, and I just started doing that, and I loved it. I loved teaching. I loved education. But as far as so I really was looking to go for business, but I had a small son, so I didn't want to get too much involved at that time with working for the company. Working for university was much easier for me. Because my son was coming with me very often, and we were able to be together much more than if I was working in industry. I was also very interested in power of intention. I was starting working with Professor Tiller from Stanford University, who was an eminent scholar in material science. And what we were doing is he was putting the meditators by the device, and they were storing the intention, and he shipped it to my lab, and we were materializing that intention in that laboratory. And it was very, very interesting how we could notice the influence of those results when there were the exams at the university, when people were nervous. Everything was changing. So I noticed there is amazing possibility for us, for humans, to influence our life and optimize our performance by controlling, or maybe controlling our emotions, our thoughts, our and raising our awareness. So this is something that I was very, very interested in. As a matter of fact, we have a paper in Journal of Alternative Medicine on that topic. But that was not exact shift, although it was some shift from my research at the university. But later on, what happened was my husband had a problem with his shoulder, and he was not able to move the right arm without the help of the left arm. And he went to the doctors, and the doctors told him that it's too damaged for anything else. We need to do the replacements. So he said, okay, if we do the replacement, can I water ski? Can I do my yard work? Can I do weightlifting? And they said, absolutely not. So he said, I'm not doing it. I really want to be active in life. So and he was in so much pain that he couldn't sleep at night. He was on painkillers nonstop. I mean, the doctor said, you will not survive. We keep the file because you will be back here. There is no way that you can live with this type of pain. So we were looking for the solutions. So this was the time when I starting my research and looking into what else he could do to not to have joint replacement, but at the same time not to live with this type of discomfort and pain. So that's how we discovered the first, that amazing way to be, first of all, I was asking myself a question. What is the real reason that our body degenerates? In other words, what is the reason that our joints starts to hurt? Because it's not my husband. It's kind of every third or second person who have problems with one or more joints. And also, we see that we dry out. We see it on our face, we get wrinkles. And what is the reason? And actually, I was working at that time with a professor who is orthopedic professor. And he told me that the reason is that we have degeneration of connective tissue. And I said, okay, if this is the problem, so how do we solve this problem? Well, we have to understand what connective tissue is built of. So the main three components of connective tissue is collagen, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, and also other glycosaminoglycans. So that's pretty obvious that if we could somehow give our body back those components, our body can rebuild itself, because it's clear. It was started to become very clear for me that our body can rebuild itself. As a matter of fact, at this moment, this is proven in Harvard University when they said that the memory of our cells, of when they are even on genes, when they are on and off, or it's really stored in the body. The thing about our youth is stored in our body. So if we are able to change our environment and access that information, that our body can rebuild itself. And that's pretty clear. So if this is the fact, then let's focus on what can we do to reach that and to rebuild our body so that we can enjoy this life to the end and not suffer, and live long life, but most of the life, after 60 or 70, we live in discomfort. So that was my passion, became my passion, and that's what resulted with my further work.
Please explain what biohacking is and how it can improve someone's health and longevity.
Well, biohacking is understood like optimize your performance. So, in other words, on many levels, because biohacking is not just eating well, it's not just exercising. It's many factors. But if we take care of those factors, then we can optimize performance, our body performance on all levels, on mental level, physical level, emotional level. So this is what really biohacking is. And that's why I wrote this book, because it explains what it's not only what we can do, so what we should be doing, because most people know there is a mind-body connection, and we have practical strategies for that. We need to focus on nutrition, and there is no one fits all. Everybody is different. We have to have physical activity. Again, A lot of things are misunderstood. And again, it's not one fits all. So that we have sleep optimization, we have hormone optimization, and then we have also set up our environment in the most optimal way to, like EMF protection and also optimization your home. And also very, very important when you do all this so that you track your performance. So how would you track your performance when you are doing all those things? So you have to collect your data. You have to be like a researcher. You have to collect data, analyze the data, and see that you are moving in the right direction.
So
And
it's personal science.
it is personal science, exactly, exactly. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I tell you, anybody can do it, and you don't have to take care of everything because sometimes you already eat correctly, you already exercise, you're already doing all the stuff, and maybe something is missing. So that's why I wrote the book, because now you have the reference, and there are about 500 references there. So you can pick up the chapter which you want to work on, because you can't work on everything at the same time. It is impossible. You have to just do step by step, optimize each part, and you see. And you could go as deep as you want, because every chapter has many references. So you can just pull up the references from there on and go as deep as you want. But is it worth it? I think it is, because nowadays we are living longer, but also, so this lifespan have expanded. However, the life in health and without discomfort, with all the mobility abilities, with possibility of taking care of yourself, shorten. And as I have heard, it's for women, it's right now 64. So my God, if we live longer and we have to be dependent on medications, we have to be dependent on somebody who is coming to our house and help us to brush our teeth. I mean, that's not the life I think most of us want to live.
What are some of the most transformative biohacking strategies that you discuss in Biohacking A Way to a Better You?
The most transformative, it's again, it depends upon the person, because it's not the most transformative, like everybody is different. So it's not general. So for example, um, let's say that we take the mind-body connection. You have to understand, because stress is a killer. So if you have this problem that you are reacting to people coming in front of you, let's say you drive a car, and you are becoming angry, or somebody tells you something, you stay in stillness. You not react, but act without reaction. When you raise your awareness that a lot of things are going to improve in your life. Now, the other thing is, but some people are already very good at that, but maybe they need more guidance in physical activity, because without movement, people think that they have pain in their joints. So they cannot move because, and I have a lot of clients like that they cannot move because it hurts. And then we have to understand what they can do, what level, which exercises, and so on. So this is something else. Next, right supplementation. There is a lot of people like going and they listen, they hear something, and they say, okay, I probably need it, and they go and buy it. They even don't know how to choose the supplement. They don't know which one is good for them. They don't know why they are even getting that supplements. And too much is not good either. So you have to have some type of guidance, which supplements and how to know which one you need. Basically, the most important for most people is rebuilding connective tissue. So we have that liquid collagen hyaluronic matrix, which is bioidentical to our bodies. So the body understands this as its own and rebuilds from inside out. So this is what I notice is the most important for most people, because we are drying out, we are losing that, and we want to give it back to our body so our body can put it in all places that it's needed. For example, if you have dry eyes, that's indicator that you do not have enough hyaluronic acid in your body. You may have problems with your skin. You may have problems with your gums, or your hair is coming out. This is all that your body is missing something. And now identifying what is missing and giving the body what it needs, it's very important. The next thing is inflammation. I mean, that is so common today. The next one is insulin resistance. And people are trying to lose weight all the different ways, and they don't eat. And this is terrible because we need food, we need energy. This is not the way to do it. And because you may starve yourself, and then the wave come back with even more than at the beginning. So that's not the way to do it. So knowing what to do is very, very important. Sleeping, the next one. Most of us, at least my friends, like to stay late at night. Well, the best time to sleep, go to sleep, is around 10 o'clock or before, because that's where the body is really rebuilding itself, and that serotonin and everything so gives you emotions. And also the next thing is your gut. A lot of people today, I notice, they are depressed. And one of the reasons is because there is a problem with your gut. There is a gut-brain connection. And maybe if you just take care of your gut, rebuild your good bacteria, and then you can very much improve your mood. But this is all connected, and this is all person dependent. So that's why here in the book there are so many different things, and then you can choose your way, and you can the guidance is also extremely important. So I invite you to get in touch with us, because it is like climbing Mount Everest. Can you go to the top without a guide? Yes, probably you can. I don't know, but mostly most people wouldn't do it. Most people will turn back and go back and never reach their goals. So having a support system is extremely important.
My guest is Dr. Grazyna Pajunen. Her book, Biohacking: A Way to a Better You, Look and Feel Better Than You Did 10 Years Ago. Dr. Pajunen, please share with our listeners where they can get your book and find out more about you and your work.
Well, the book is on Amazon. So if you like to go there and just Google, just put my name or the title of the book, you can get it. And also, if you like to get more information about our age reversing system, you may go to agereversingsecret.com. And you can get a lot of information, and also possibility to book a call, a short discovery call with me or somebody from my team.
And we'll be back with more after these words on the Om Times Radio Network.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, Om Times Radio, IOM FM. Om Times Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Om Times, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Back on Destination Unlimited, my guest this week, Dr. Grazyna Pajunen. We're talking about her book, Biohacking, A Way to a Better You. Look and feel better than you did 10 years ago. Dr. Pajunen, what are the biggest misconceptions about aging, and how can biohacking change that narrative?
Very good question. And people think, a lot of people, that we cannot reverse the age. And that when and I was thinking the same way, as a matter of fact. I remember when I turned 60, I was always running in the morning. But when I turned 60, my hips were starting blocking me. And I said, I cannot run anymore. But who cares? I'm 60, so that's normal, right? Well, now at 70, I'm actually being 74 this year. I can run. I can do whatever I want. It's not true that you cannot reverse your age. As a matter of fact, there is a way to test it. They are biomarkers, which they take your blood test, and you can test your age. There are also scale, and this scale is, at home. I don't know how reliable is the scale, but biomarkers are very reliable. So in my case, book is reverse 15 years. And on the scale, actually, it's 20 years. But so this is what is really important that you understand. There is chronological age, and there is biological age. And chronological age, there is nothing you can do about it. I am 73, I will be 74 this year, and there is nothing I can do about it. However, biological age is in your hands. You can reverse it. And I have seen it many, many times. And everybody can do it. But it requires work and discipline. So ask yourself, are you willing to work and put yourself under certain, program so that you have some goal to achieve, and you're working towards that goal to finally reverse your age 10 to 12 years or more. And this is actually not that difficult, because the only thing what we have to do is to work on our habits. And you cannot, obviously, change your habits, all of them at the same time. So you work in steps. You can put yourself a goal, like, for example, I changed my eating habits this month, and just work on it and track it. And the next month, you change your sleeping habits and maybe the other areas. But everybody can do it. So this was one misconception. The second one is, well, if I have already bone on bone, then I cannot rebuild my joints. That's another misconception, because I've seen many of my customers that did. Because what happens is we are losing hyaluronic acid and collagen and all this other. So we have degeneration of connective tissue, like I said before. So one of the components is hyaluronic acid. And yes, most of the products on the market that have hyaluronic acid, including the creams, they have too large molecule for our body to be being able to absorb. Even that what the doctors inject in the joints have huge molecule, and it acts as a filler. It's not going to rebuild. So once you get the product like this collagen hyaluronic acid matrix that has optimized size of the molecule that is 95 to 98% absorbable, that you get it from under your tongue to your body, then you can finally start rebuilding it. And what it means that you start rebuilding synovial fluid in your joints. And this is critical because it's like oil in your car. So you cannot drive your car without an oil. At least you don't go too far. So that's the one thing which is very important. And because there is optimized size of the molecule, that is what Dr. Brady was teaching me. He was, as I said before, orthopedic professor and also surgeon. And he performed over 9,000 surgeries. And he told me, there is a little bit of the cartridge left in every single joint. So what happens once we get that synovial fluid back, and that is the optimized size of the molecule which can insert and start rebuilding the body, so the molecules of the cartridge are starting to duplicate. And this is a longer process, but this is something that you may start working on. But it has to be in conjunction with the movement. So we do it all together. So this is the second misconception. The third misconception is probably that about the skin, that once you are older, then you need to have a lot of wrinkles. Well, that's also not true. And that your wrinkles, you have to get plastic surgery, or you have to do some Botox injections to really get rid of those wrinkles. That's also not true. If I could show you pictures of people who in 3 months, complete transformation. Actually, I was working with one celebrity, and her husband thought that she had plastic surgery done in 3 months after she started working with me. So yes, you can, but you have to rebuild. The other misconception is that you need expensive creams to put, thousands of dollars creams to put on your face. No, remember, you rebuild your body from inside out. And now, if you still want to put the creams, that's perfect. But this is nothing that can change, be substitute rebuilding the body from inside out. And also drinking water. Next thing is you have to drink a lot of water, and that's enough to hydrate your body. Well, drinking a lot of water is critical, absolutely. However, you have to understand that collagen hyaluronic acid is dropping about 10 to 15% each 10 years. So we are drying out. So at age 60 or so, we almost don't have that hyaluronic acid in our bodies anymore. So, and each molecule of hyaluronic acid holds up to 1,000% of water. So what it means, it's acting like a sponge. So if you do not have that hyaluronic acid anymore, you drink your water, it just goes right through you. So we need this hyaluronic acid to hydrate our body. And this is very, very important. The next misconception is, okay, I'm taking that powder collagen so I can rebuild my body. Well, I have bad news for you. Most powder collagens have to be digested. If they have to be digested, they go through, they are going to be destroyed in your stomach by stomach acids, and this not going to work. And also the liquid collagens, which are much higher, much better, but still, if they are optimized, of course, molecules, then they are still only collagen. So this is like if I ask you, can you bake a cake with just flour? Most people say no, because we need all the ingredients. And it is the same here. In order to rebuild your body, you have to have all the ingredients, which are collagen, hyaluronic acid, hydroxylated sulfate, and other glycosaminoglycans. Now, there is also misconception. Okay, so I go and buy all these ingredients and make a mixture, and that will be working for me. No, because always, if the nature have done a mixture, and this is what I'm talking about, is molecule that has been created by nature. It's from nature, natural. So this nature never can be improved by us. Nature is always the best. So you have something that comes from nature that has exactly the same, the same components as in our bodies, and especially in our cartilage, in our joints. So our body understands it, and the optimized size of the molecule, because from nature, you can't get it back from food, because everything like collagen, hyaluronic acid has too large molecule. Our body cannot absorb it. So this is all misconception, and this is all what I notice they do not understand. But especially about collagen, that only collagen is effective, is better than nothing if it's good one, but it's not as effective if you have something that is bioidentical with your body. Your body understands it as its own, and it's able to absorb it. You saturate your body with it, and then the body takes over and puts in the places where it's the most needed.
Please tell us about your patented formula and what makes this unique.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that this patented formula which is unique, is that it has all the components with it, which is bioidentical to our body. And you take it, you drink it, and it comes from under your tongue, and it gets to your cells, and then you saturate, and the body is using it wherever it needs. So, for example, sometimes people come to me and they say, oh, I have a pain in my knee. And I tell them what to do. We set up all system, because all system, I'm talking here only about the drink, but this is combination with all the other stuffs, which is in the book, right? Like nutrition, like exercise, and so on, because it's all together. However, sometimes, we have this people who come to me and only have problems with knees. And then after 1 month, they call me and they said, oh my God, but only my knee was hurting. Now all my joints hurt because it's putting that synovial fluid to all joints which are needed. And then there are ligaments on the side and they stretch. So this is what may hurt even more at the beginning than was just, without that system.
And how does your patented formula help people avoid joint replacements and live pain-free?
Because the same what happened with my husband. When he started, he had the problem, as I said at the beginning, with his shoulder. So this is just one example. I have many other, which I can tell you. So he started that system, and he was already eating correctly. He was already exercising. He was already sleeping. So all the other aspects were correct. But this one was that his synovial fluid dried out. So we started rebuilding it. So the first month, he didn't feel anything. The second month, his discomfort and pain increased drastically. But he always exercised. He went through this. The right exercises are critical. Not to go too much, but that's why we have to stay in touch at the beginning. So he was just moving it, right? All the time moving, because it's like putting oil to the machine, but you still need to turn it. Okay. And then after this, next month, the third month, suddenly he called me to the kitchen and he said, "Oh my God, look, I take milk out of refrigerator with this arm." So his arm started to move. A few months later, he said to me, "This is amazing. I feel like I have brand new shoulder." That was 14 years ago. Till today, he has a brand new shoulder.
Wonderful.
I have another guy who is Kirk from Canada. His passion was to weightlifting, and he was doing competition, and he had such a problem with his shoulder that he couldn't even keep a glass of water in his hand. The doctor said, "Well, Kirk, you have no chance. You have to just quit your gym because that shoulder is absolutely too damaged." So he came to us and he said, "Can you help us?" And we say, "Well, we try. Let's put it on the program." So he started the program, and guess what? In 8 months it took him, and he not only started lifting 350 pounds, but he broke a world record in his age group. So he was so happy. My husband, when he noticed with the shoulder, he actually came to me and he said, "Listen, you are a scientist, so look into that, because that what happened to me is a pure miracle, and we have obligation to help people." So what I did, I pull up all the clinical studies, because there are 37 clinical studies. I examined those clinical studies and I said, "Oh my God, this is phenomenal." So that was 14 years ago, and our system evolved and became better and better and better. And we have more and more phenomenal results with people. We have another person, and that was in Poland. That was a girl coming from, actually she came all the way from Szczecin to Warsaw, which is about 300 kilometers, to say thank you, because she was 50 years old and she was on disability, and the doctors, she was working with doctors, orthopedic professors, and so on for several years because of her knee problems. And she was already they put her through 11 orthopedic surgeries on full anesthesia. So the last surgery, she told, that she woke up in a hospital and her hair were laying on the pillow. She lost her hair. She was looking and feeling and not so good. And always those surgeries, after the surgeries, she always felt a little better at the beginning, but the discomfort came back. And finally, she started working with us. And again, it took her 8 months, but she came to us, and I was giving lecture at the time. She grabbed the microphone. She said, "I want to share the story," and she shared the story like she was able to not only go back to work, but also she was running stairs, 2-story stairs, in order to, because that would involve in her work, and she has no discomfort. So it's amazing. We also can have a program for pets, because sometimes people say, oh, this is just a placebo effect. And I said, no, look, for the pet who cannot go the stairs, who is suffering, who can drag his legs, and after 11 weeks, he can run again. So the most important, what you guys have to understand, is the body has ability to rebuild itself. It just needs a right environment and right conditions. And this is something which for me was very, very important and critical.
My guest is Dr. Grazyna Pajunen. We'll be back with more after these words on the Om Times Radio Network.
Humanity Healing International is a small nonprofit with a big dream. Since 2007, HHI has been working tirelessly to bring help to communities with little or no hope. Our projects are not broad mandates, nor are they overnight solutions, but they bring the reassurance that no one is alone and that someone cares. To learn more, please visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Destination Unlimited, my guest this week is Dr. Grazyna Pajunen. We're talking about her book, Biohacking, A Way to a Better You. Look and feel better than you did 10 years ago. Dr. Pajunen, can you explain what the body transformation system is and how it supports healthy weight loss and gut health?
Body transformation system is working on not only losing weight, but on losing weight in the right places. So shaping your body, not starting looking older. When you lose weight, and first of all, also, if somebody has a problem, insulin resistance, so that you can, in natural way, start producing, your body starts producing the hormone GLP-1. But that's one thing. The other thing is because this hormone and the special bacteria in your gut will help you to not to feel hungry so much, and at the same time it will regulate your sugar level in your body. But what is important that at the same time we can rebuild a muscle tone and tighten the skin so that you lose the fat and the weight in somewhere like stomach or your upper legs, but don't maybe in the breast. You don't lose your face and so on. So you're starting looking younger instead of like a lot of systems. When you lose weight, you start looking older because of the sagging skin. So this is the system. Now, rebuilding so this is entire system, but also it's connected with so the eating schedule, So you eat low glycemic food, but only 3 times a day. So that means you decide that you will eat only breakfast at that hour, lunch at that hour, and dinner at that hour. The food is low glycemic. You are not going to be hungry, but you do not eat anything in between. No snacks, no bars, no chips, right? So this is important. So you take a notebook and you write what time you eat, what you eat. That's the best way to follow up. And also measurements. You measure your neck, you measure your breast, you measure your waist, you measure your legs, and so on. So you see the progress. So every week you can see the progress, and we can meet and talk about it. How you can change that or adjust it in order to achieve the performance what you want. Of course, that cannot be done without some movements. And again, you don't have to go to gym for 2 hours a day. It's enough if you have, let's say, a clip tech at home and you do it 20 minutes a day, or you go for a walk maybe 1 hour a day after dinner, or maybe during the day, or whatever you choose. And the best thing to choose is something that you enjoy. Something that you enjoy, whatever movement. Maybe you like to go dancing, whatever you like, but you need some type of movement.
For someone new to biohacking, what's the first step they should take to start their journey?
Well, I would suggest that he get your book, my book, so that he knows what chapters are there to work on, and to see which one is okay, which one you can improve, or you want to improve. And I would also suggest that you just schedule a short call with us, because then we can guide you in the right direction. And we are focusing on the results. We love people achieving their results. So that's how we work. We ask you, what is your goal? And we show you how to get what is required for you to do to get to that goal. And then we work together so that you really achieve that goal. And of course, you need to show up. You need to have discipline. It's not like you can have aspirin and sit on the sofa, eat donuts, and expect for the best. This is a system that requires this discipline, but at least you will have a roadmap, and you will have a guidance to achieve your goal.
Earlier in the interview, you mentioned the word, intention. That's really what this is about, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. You need to know that this is what you want. Because if you say, I have enough of that life that I am not feeling good, and a lot of people also will get out of medication, but I'm not advising you to stop it, because it's a process, right? However, you may I want to feel good. I want to be 80 years old, traveling the world, dancing, and enjoying this life, and not get into the statistics, because statistics is very depressing. So we want to change that statistic altogether. And you will be also a role model for others. They say, wow, what happened to you? I want the same thing. And that's our goal, to increase the awareness so that everybody can feel great, and we can enjoy this beautiful life here
My guest, Dr. Grazyna Pajunen, her book, Biohacking, A Way to a Better You, Look and Feel Better Than You Did 10 Years Ago. Dr. Pajunen, one more time, please share with our listeners where they can get your book and find out more about you and all this amazing work.
Well, the most important is go to Amazon, and my book is on Amazon, so you can get it. And then also you can schedule a call with us. And also our system is reviewed at the website, which is agereversingsecret.com, agereversingsecret.com. So you will see more of our system, summary of our system, and also at the very end, you will be able to book a call with us. And I would advise you to do it, at least for discovery, and see if this is something for you or not. But if you decide, if you have an intention to achieve it, to look and feel better than 10 years ago, I would advise you to just book a discovery call and see.
Dr. Pajunen, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this amazing work.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us on Destination Unlimited. I'm Victor, the Voice Furman. Have a wonderful week.